What have I learnt in the progression through the project? I have gained knowledge about the film genre gritty realism, and I have learnt about the conventions of gritty realism films. Throughout the project, this has helped to inspire me to help progress successfully to create what the task was. Throughout the project, I have gained knowledge about filming and editing. I've learnt how to film different camera shots and movements, and I've been able to put these into practice. I've also learnt how to improve the realism of filming, which means to keep the costumes, furniture and props, makeup and hair identical within different clips that are sequenced together. This has been done by ensuring there was marker points in which feet, props and anything else within the shot didn't move at all, or if they did, they came back to the exact correct place between refilming each shot. This is an evident improvement when I compare my preliminary task and my final opening sequence, because in the preliminary task the editing and filming was quite amateur, with mistakes such as we didn't film accurately enough to create a smooth transition, and as a result we had to use crossfade, which was less professional. But in the final gritty realism opening sequence we managed to make a much better transitions between shots to help reduce the appearance of poor filming and movement between clips. Throughout the project I've also learnt a vast amount of relevant vocabulary, and this has helped me a lot because it's helped me explain things, which has made me put it into practice, which has helped me learn more and more. I've learnt about different microcodes, which includes filming, editing, lighting, sound, mise-en-scène. Furthermore, I have learnt terms such as diegetic sounds. This is where sounds are within the filming, such as talking or walking, footsteps. And also non-diegetic sounds, which is where sounds have been added into the clip. This would include soundtracks and sound effects. I've also learnt about different types of signs and enigma codes as well. I've learnt about camera movements and how to create them on a low budget with home resources. For example, I discovered a way of creating a trolley for shooting of dolly shots. For example, you could use a skateboard. In our opening sequence, however, these techniques were not necessary, but our camera work has improved a lot from the preliminary task when we compare where some of the camera work was quite poorly moved between shots or even unsmooth, which was unprofessional. This was improved in our opening sequence where we had successful camera work which looked a lot more professional with the transitions and the movements. I have learnt the effects of mise-en-scène throughout the project too. By this I mean I've learnt how costumes play a huge part in films. They create the theme and portray an age, show characteristics about the character too. Mise-en-scène helps to portray the narrative to the audience as well. We applied the effect of mise-en-scène to our own gritty realism opening sequence because we needed the wine bottle, the tobacco and the wine glass, which helped to create the atmosphere of the theme within the opening sequence. We also had Dottie wearing suitable clothing, which is also mise-en-scène costumes, which represented the characteristics of her character, as well as her makeup and her hair. Furthermore, I discovered the lighting and camera work plays a part within mise-en-scène too. Our use of mise-en-scène was strong in the preliminary task as well as the opening sequence. During this project, I've learned a lot about opening sequences, and I've learnt how the opening sequences should include enigma codes, which means mystery. This is because when an opening sequence uses enigma codes, the audience asks questions which makes them want to carry on and watch. Evidently, this is very vital to keep audience attracted to carry on watching the film. I discovered the definition of enigma codes, which also allowed me to find examples, such as what are they going to do. The audience ask this, and so they want to find out, so they continue watching. Furthermore, I learned about the format of titles and different production brands used in opening sequences. Throughout the project, I've also learnt how necessary it is to have good quality technology equipment. For example, the preliminary task was filmed using the school video cameras, and although they were good, they were not to as great a quality as we wanted, and as a result, our preliminary task was quite pixelated, which looked a lot less professional. Because of this, we decided it was best to use my DSLR camera to film our opening sequence, which ensured the quality was the maximum of our ability. Throughout the coursework project, time management was evidently very necessary because it was vital to meet deadlines. We particularly struggled with managing time around filming because Charlotte and Dottie had free periods at different times to me, which made it very hard for me to be able to attend filming. Furthermore, we needed natural morning light for our scene. However, we did manage to overcome this and got the filming completed within the time given. Other work was left to tight deadlines, which meant we had to spend more time catching up and completing more work. The roles involved in film production have been developed into my learning because I know now the different roles necessary. This would include the distribution. For example, after producing, the production companies must find cinemas to show the film. Within the gritty realism genre, films tend to be shown at small cinemas, not big chain cinemas such as The View. I found that the roles within film production includes finding actors to be successful and having a director who can direct the crew to create a professional film. Also, someone to operate the camera is vital to create the clips to a high standard in order for the editing to be professional. Finally, the producer is needed to turn story ideas into a successful film.